same amount of time. Harriett.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker, and it's an honour to be called to speak in support of this bill in this debate, and actually, in a way, an advantage to be called at this time because so many excellent points have been made by so many wonderful people, and that I'm pleased to say that I agree with most of them, and they've been better expressed than I could have expressed them, including by the former Chancellor and by the former Economic Secretary, who was responsible, I think, for putting together quite a large part of this bill. And I do recall myself that milestone when the country voted to leave the European Union on the 23rd of June 2016, that I myself was Economic Secretary at the time, and I think there were a lot of questions that were then opened up about what would happen to the regulation of financial services, which has been referred to many times in this debate as being one of our most important export and tax-paying sectors that provides many hundreds of thousands of jobs up and down the land. It is a very important sector, and over the 6 years we have flirted with the idea of equivalence. I think it is the EU Commission that's decided that equivalence doesn't suit them. I think it's their loss, frankly, because obviously we are equivalent, or we were equivalent, and I think it's their small businesses and their growing firms that will lose that easy access to the United Kingdom capital markets, and therefore I think it's a shame for them. I also know that discussions were had about the Canada-EU trade agreement, the kind of discussion and chapter on financial services, which is not in our current trade agreement with the EU, and clearly that has also been rejected as the way forward, although there is scope for much more, I think, in terms of mutual recognition and opening up of markets. And so I welcome the decisions that have been made in the publication of this legislation and the opportunities that it's seizing in terms of divergence. And it is welcome to see that the industry also has been very much consulted and brought along with this in terms of how Solvency II changes, how MiFID II changes can actually help our economy grow. But the point I want to focus on is one actually that hasn't been brought up much in the debate at all, which is around the freedoms that this gives us to look once again at the market for advice and guidance in this country. We've heard from many of the challenges that consumers face when they're making financial decisions on their own behalf. And the cost of financial advice is high. Guidance itself, it can be very generic. There is, of course, access to the Money Advice Service, to Pension Wise, which I do encourage constituents to use if they can. But this opportunity in this legislation gives us the chance to actually look once again at the financial advice market and the opportunity that it presents to have more customised guidance now because of the way that technology has evolved and the important role that the FCA's regulatory sandbox allows people to experiment in terms of those kinds of measures. And I would urge everyone who's spoken about consumers in this debate to support an amendment that I'm planning to table with the help of the Investing and Savings Alliance that will allow the provision of much more personalised guidance to be provided through the use of innovation, the use of technology, that will help consumers through those difficult decisions, perhaps when they move employer, should they move pensions, those kinds of decisions. And I think would create a better informed consumer who won't necessarily fall for some of the scams as easily as the ones that we've been hearing about during today's debate. And we do need to arm our consumers to be able to tackle those. So I'll be tabling that amendment, Mr Deputy Speaker. My final point is around the role of the regulator. Again, it's been made time and time again in this debate. Who regulates the regulator if the regulator puts in place something with which we as MPs or our constituents disagree. And I do think that there's an important role for the Treasury Select Committee on which I sit, and we will take that responsibility very seriously in terms of scrutinising changes. But I also think one of the great strengths of our country is our common law. And I know that the Minister himself has been looking at the opportunities that have been outlined for bringing in some further rights of appeal through the common law system in this country to some of the decisions that regulators make. I know the Minister's been taking them seriously, and I look forward to him responding to those points at the end of the debate. Thank you.